Welcome back to Backyard Cars, and today we're gonna tear down and inspect the 350 from the Malibu and see what we're gonna do with it. Well, as you can see, it's sitting here. I did pop and separate the transmission so we can just pick up the motor, maybe, and just get away with it. Put the plate on here and took the dual jet off for now. And we'll get the tractor over and pick it up and get it out in the yard where we're gonna try and degrease on it just a hair before we put it on the stand. So let me get the tractor. Alright, well, now that we got it out, before we go in there and get it on the stand, we're going to knock off the alternator because we're going to try and wash it. Well, we're just going to wash some of the junk off of it before we get it in there on the stand. Come on. Well, they say you can just wipe that off. Oh, wow, maybe so. Well, we're going to take the water pump off, but we got some of the debris and gunk off of here. I couldn't get all the... I mean, no matter what cleaner I use, it's never really strong enough. You know, it takes a couple coats and a couple sprays and all that good stuff. But anyhow, we got a corporate blue pan, but it appears like an orange block, which is odd. The motors match the 72 Malibu that it came out of. The casting number, or the VIN right here matches the VIN on the car, so it came from that car, but corporate blue pan and an orange block, orange timing cover, blue sealant coming out here. So this motor's been worked on maybe at one point. Well, let's knock off some of these. Well, really just the accessory here. Get that off and that bracket off. And I believe we'll have to remove the headers in order to get it up on the block or on the stand correctly. One froze up water pump. Whoa. So we got everything pulled off. We're going to pull off for now, and we'll get it up on the engine stand now, and start looking at it from there. So now that it's on the stand, we're going to take the cover off or the plate off the cleaner here and just stuff a rag down in there for right now. We're going to identify the block and the heads, and then we're going to tear it down a little bit and inspect it and see what we want to do. Does it need to be rebuilt? Can we just freshen it up? I mean, what can we do? What's it worth? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to completely rebuild it, to be honest with you, because it already runs. I mean, I could drop it down into something and just deal with the little stock motor, but I'm sure that stock motor has got some miles on it. So it would behoove us to throw some, gaskets and seals and, give a good check on it and clean it up real good and all that other good stuff before we, just try and send it down the road. It's raining right now. I got that done just in time for the rain to kick in. So we're up underneath the porch here, the awning area. Just trying to hide a little bit, This is where we're at, and of course this intake's going to end up coming off so we can see inside. We're going to remove the valve covers. I want to leave my battery cables hooked up for now, because before I get too deep into this, I'm actually going to compression test it while it's sitting on the stand. So before we go tearing everything down, I'm going to pull all the plugs out, get the compression tester, and we're going to throw some fire to the starter and let it roll over without the plugs in it, no resistance, and test all the compression to every cylinder. That way, we can write that down and just say, well, this is what we had when we started. So, as you can probably tell, it's raining pretty good. So, pardon the noise. We're going to get the valve covers off and we can look at that head casting. And I'm pretty sure, because we know what car this came out of and that it matched that car. I'm pretty sure there's nothing special about it. It's a 2-barrel 350. But we're going to double check. So, what we're looking for here to determine our head is the casting number right there. It might be hard to focus in on, but that casting number is the number we're looking for. And there's some stamps here and there, GM, K17, some weird logos. That's like the time clock. I think that tells you when it was, what shift it was printed on, or cast, what shift it was cast on. But that's our casting number. And it's raining pretty hard. You can find it on either head in about the same location, just upside down. Yada yada. So, let me grab a pen and write them down, and we'll figure it out. It's 398-6 339. I know. I know the 339. Well, a lot of people say just throw them away. So it's a small head. 70 something cc head with 170 something valves, 174 something valves, and 150 exhaust. And that makes sense for the 2-barrel intake. So now that we know there's nothing special about the heads, we're pretty sure it's just the 2-volt main. But that's okay. All the plugs are out. There's no carb on it. There's no power to the distributor. There's nothing there. So it should just turn freely. And as you can see, it does. So the oil's still in it, and we might get oil up here. We should. But we're going to try and do it as quick as possible. And I got a card I'm going to write down all the readings on, just so that I get a good bit of data to look at and think about, decide what we're going to do with it when we get in here and tear it down. So, getting is good. Battery terminal on. Check. And starter engagement. Check. Let's see. That starter doesn't seem good. That old foot plate is wobbling. I'm scared. It almost broke though. This sugar is short enough bent. Looks like it's in the 130s. Just below 130. That's cylinder 2. So this is the final cylinder, number 8. It's like 125. Well, we know what we got, right? And so far it's not looking real good. So we'll go around the motor from this side. And we got 115, 130, 120, 125, 130, 105, 130, and 150. This is real good, and well, she's bad. Alright, so now that we got our heads, we know what they are. Now let's just try and do a visual inspection, right? We know what our compression is. That one's a little loose. Even if it's all the way, you know, relentless, it shouldn't have that much movement. So that one's good. Some are still tight. We're on the top dead center of cylinder 1. Okay, so visually, we're seeing like just this one is a little bit loose, but compared to the rest, I think everything looks good. You kind of count thread spacings to see if stuff's wearing out or worn out. That one's down a little further than the rest. It seems a little bit tight, but it's got play. And all those look pretty good and normal, right? Never mind all the bug droppings or whatever this is. Mud dauber's nest. I'm about to take the air compressor and blow all that out of here. So, looking at all the valves and everything here, of course we never saw oil come up here. And all the times we was spinning it, and that is a bit concerning. But I know when it fired up and ran, there was no valve noise, so whatever that means. So now let's try to get down in the cylinders and see each cylinder. That one looks sooty, and you can see where all the soot is breaking off right inside there. There's a good little mound of stuff. And that valve looks really sooty. Same thing there, and you can see it even better right here, how much soot is actually in there because of how it's breaking there. So there's the casting number if you're casting for your block. Right here, 010. And then, so another valve hole, just trying to inspect and see what we're looking like in here. Oh, what's that? Oh, you see that valve? That valve was either burning water or water was sitting in it. And by the looks of it, I'm going to say water was sitting in it. Yeah, that's horrible. So, what cylinder is that? That's exhaust of 5. That one don't look as sooty as the rest, but it does look pretty sooty still. Let's pull the distributor, pop the intake loose. We know we're at TDC right now. We're at marks on 0. We're pointing at the 1 cylinder. So she's out of there. Well, there you go. She had the old copper gasket in there. It actually looks good. I was scared, is what I'm saying. But it actually looks good. Next, I mean, this looks pretty dang clean. I mean, I've seen way worse. I was looking at the heads, I was thinking it's going to be rough inside here. But it's actually in really good shape. I mean, there's no carbon built up all over like usual. I want to show you this here. So, you should be able to grab these push rods and just spin them. I don't know if you can see that. But it's easily rotating over, nice and smooth. Now, you go through and do that to all of them, and all mine spin, except one is not freely spinning. This one here. It spins pretty easy. If you can see it spinning, right? But let's watch this rocker arm here as I spin this. You see it walking back and forth? I know everything's shaking now, but it walks back and forth as you spin that rod. So, what that's telling you is that this push rod is bent ever so slightly. And it's just going to continue to bend until it's no good anymore. So, minimum 1 push rod and a timing chain. right? And feasibly it could be running again. Who knows how long with the compression and oils, but we're probably looking at tearing it all the way down. But we're gonna roll. Well, we're gonna drain the oil now, and then roll the motor over and take the pan off and look, give a gander at the base of the crank and see what we got going on there. We'll get the harmonic balancer off now so we can get into the timing chain, kind of peek about what's going on with that. Let's remove the timing cover now and check on that seal and timing chain. And this is overkill, but it's what I got to go fast. So. And the timing cover, well, it loops around down there, so it might not want to come out. No, it came up off there yet. Oh, whoa! Look at that. Let me get you in there. Well, you can tell it's bad because of the play you got in it there. I mean, it should kind of be like that side over here. So that's no bueno. Well, since it's got all that timing chain play, we definitely got to put a timing set in it, along with the push rod, and I don't know what else. Okay, now that we got it all off, we'll flip her over. Hopefully we don't get too much stuff pouring out. Let's take off the starter. Alright. Starter off. Well, now we're back at it. We got it flipped over and we get the pan off. And I loosened everything up just so it wouldn't take me, 6 months getting this stuff off. So let's see what are we looking like inside the pan? Is the oil pump covered up? Is there gunk everywhere? Or is it clean? I know it made a mess when I flipped it over, and I knew it was gonna, but my wife's not gonna be happy about the mess I just put on the floor. Right out her back door. But that's what we do. What's the luck we have with just replacing the push rod and throwing a timing chain on it? Maybe even an oil pump and, get re-gasket and putting it back together. Well, the moment of truth. Yep. It's a 2-bolt main. What is that? A dead lizard. A dead petrified lizard in the crank. I don't know if that's. I mean, we wanted dinosaurs, but I don't think this is quite a dinosaur. But okay. Okay. That poor fella picked the wrong spot to hang out, huh? Well, it don't look as nasty as I thought it was gonna look. It doesn't appear like anything was sitting in water or any craziness, you know. We can see the base of the can. Another lizard. Nothing left of him. That's odd. We got a couple more lizards and some parts in the sump pickup. Just do a little scan. It don't look too horribly bad. And you can see that cylinder and the cam, it's got a little wear on that back lobe there. That's what we can see from this side. And then up inside the, it's going to be hard to get that view. And up inside the sump, you can see all the junk picked up inside there. So just to do a little further inspection, just to be sure, the brush, you know, we're just checking it out, is all I'm saying. We're just going to get in here and be sure that we're going to look at these bearings, put our eyeballs on them and see what if anything we can do, if we need to. So both our end caps are loose. Well, not both our end caps, but the main caps here in the front. Easiest ones to get to. And that, well, ooh, it's grooved pretty rough. Let's see if you can. It's grooved all here and all over here. Long vertical grooving and some pitting. I mean, it's easily seen. Trying to get the camera to focus for you, but that's no bueno. I think the crank is alright. But of course, if you're putting bearings in, you're going to polish it. I didn't see no grooves in that crank. I was originally not going to do this in this video, and then I just started thinking, why wait? Let's just know what we're going to do with it. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to say we're not rerunning that. Let's see if we get you. Try to find a way where the light can hit it. You can see it's pitted, and we got some long full lengths. It's just all boogered up. I'm going to say that these are the factory bearings since new. And unfortunately, it is that time. Let's look at this rod bearing. That actually doesn't look bad. I would probably, if I knew the mains weren't bad, I would probably reuse this bearing. I don't see any major scratches in it. Looks like it's been making good contact. But overall, that did not appear too bad. Let's see what we got on this bearing. Again, that don't look bad at all. Well, now you've seen pretty much everything. We got some worn out main bearings. We got uneven compression all the way around. A bent push rod. A rusty valve. A worn out timing chain. Dead reptiles in our sump screen. And an overall just tired old 350. So, I was going to think about what we were going to do, but I think I already know the plan now. With all of the information and data that I have acquired, I'm going to say we've got to tear it completely down and just rebuild it. Polish the crank and put new bearings all the way through and probably new rings. We'll have to pull the pistons and check all that, and we're probably going to send the block off to, you know, be magnafluxed and cleaned. And so we're going to end it here with 3/4 of a teardown and start getting our ducks in a row to completely rebuild on her. We appreciate you watching and following, and maybe you come back and watch us put it back together. That would be outstanding, especially if it goes well. And if it doesn't, you can laugh when it blows up. But the cam's worn. I mean, just the motor's tired, and it doesn't make much sense to just refresh on it. It needs a rebuild before something happens and you can't rebuild it. Crank's done, cam busts and takes out. You know what I'm saying? Throws a rod through the side. Then you're just SOL. So right now is the best time to do this. So join us next time when we get to tearing it down, cleaning, rebuilding, machine shopping, the next step. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and come back and see us on our next adventure.